Hey, you guys, what's going on? Hey, brothers and sisters. Welcome. It's late at night, so I might keep my voice down because I'm not the only person that lives in these apartment complexes here. But anyways, I just thought it'd be kind of cool since we're talking about, fallen angels and stuff like that, I should give you some more information, some cool things. All right. So I'm going to exit you down. I've amassed a mess of information I want to share with you. We're starting off with Genesis. Genesis 6, 1 through 4. It's really cool. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Wow. Well, it's cool stuff. Anyways, this is where we get it all from. This is a situation where, in all the stories, where you at? I hate just talking to the words. I better see my face and look around my room and keep my eyes busy. In the beginning, we had this idea that when the men began to multiply upon the earth, and stuff like that, this is pre-flood, all right? That that they took on daughters of the land. Okay, and I tried to mention this earlier that in a lot of these stories, we get the brothers and fathers of the head guys in the stories. They represent who you are. It says, don't take a wife from the land. I want you to go up in the mountain. I want you to go with our own family. I want you to go find someone within our own kindred world. This is the people I want you to marry up to. And this is where all the good things come from. It's from over here. And that is all birthed and brought on by the brother that gets away and goes and does this job. He steals the inheritance while his brother has been, his brother Esau is one of these guys. He is taken from, and while he's, run off up to a mountain, does Jacob get married, gets all this wonderful stuff, everything is quadrupled and everything, which is the story that we get. You get the new land, you get everything, but then when you have to come back across the valley to come back to deliver this stuff to the boss, or the brother, the older, because we have to serve the older. So it's really just this same story, that we have to serve the lower first. You have to follow the skin gets served first, and so in the skin in the stories is bad. It's evil. And so and the lower mind is what we're talking about here. The lower mind that gives us all our desires and our wants and stuff like that. Not our needs, but our desires, And they ask us to cut off from this side, to cut off from the lower. That's the same way as saying, don't go get married. Don't go marry somebody. Don't get a wife. In our stories, women and females is the spiritual side of the stories, and the male is the more radical side. It could be a king, but it could also be the devil. So you have the choice of being both these. This is the lizard in you, being able to change from one form to another. Or it's very Lutheran of you guys, where the butterfly can transit to, go go from a worm to, a flight, some kind of beautiful flight. But it's the same thing. So we got the idea that you can change things. So in these situations here, when you are taking on the lower, when we have taken on, when you leave mother and you go and cling to husband and wife, they become one. They become one, and this is the fallen. This is because they got to take her. You have to take the lower first. You have to. All right. And see if we can see what else we can drum up here. And this is in the book of Enoch. And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied in those days, were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels and the children of heaven saw and lusted after them, said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Samazi, who was the leader, said unto them, I fear you will not indeed agree to this deed, and I alone shall have to pay for the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual implication, or something or another, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were in all 200, who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Herman. And they called it Mount Herman, because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual implications or imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders. And please don't let me go through all this, but let's count them real fast. We have Shemaz, the leader. We have Araboka, we have Ramical, we have Comical, we have Tamiel, we have Ramiel, we have Daniel, we have Inyal, and we have something else, and we have Asanama, and we have Stumpatuppen, and we have something else. Oh my God, and it keeps going. That's 12. Big throat, something else, 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 something else. That's 20. That's a lot of people. That's something else. That's another 2. All right. So these are the chiefs of tens, and all the enchantments and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. All right. So my God, you guys, where you at? All right. 8 minutes in. What else can we learn here? All right. Did you know that last business that we talked about? Do you know what Jared, when you come to Jared, this is Jared. Jared is the state. That means rose. It means flower. So this is something that was really beautiful. All right. But the thing is that if you were to look up what Jared means, one of the words within this name has to do with anathema. All right. And it's devoted to destruction. And this is the name Herod. This idea that when they come down to Mount Herod, this is the idea. This is means separated. It means to set apart. All right. So this is the whole point of this, to set apart, to break away from God. This is they're talking about the fallen angels, and the daughters are representing the whore, the other person other than mother. And in these stories, you know that's religion. So men saw that. So it's another situation because in the stories it's about mother. It's a mother. The women in these things are about your spirituality, and one of them is the bitch that takes you on the road, right, where you toss your silver into the street. You know, that's where you're tossing it the wrong way. You're looking in the wrong direction. But anyways, this is our works, and so we are being misled on purpose to do this particular thing, and she is the strange woman in our dreams and the stories here too. She is that woman that is black in the story with Song of Solomon. Don't judge me because I'm black. All right. Now that's not because it's if you're literal, you're boing, you just took off down the road someplace in the folly. But this is the lower mind. If you're in the lower mind, then you're black. And he was always in the lower mind. And he chose the lilies of the field, all right? And they're looking at this as another female type of thing that's not her. And he would prefer that instead. But if they could hook together, then this becomes a beautiful situation. So the stories about fallen angels is just the mere fact that here they're showing that we're all going to make a pact of it, and the leader of it all, that's you. I'm afraid that I'm going to be all on my own. I'm going to have to pay for this all myself. So all the rest of the guys who number 200, which makes 2, which represents you, represents God's creation. That's what number 2 is. 2 is God's creation. It's just missing the female side because we made this pact and we made a vow to stick together with this until the end of times. And that's the story telling us right there at the very beginning of the Bible. All right. That second scripture I read you was different from Enoch stories, but it was the same stories. All right. We're not going to get into semantics here. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here. Doo. For Christ also had suffered for their sins and long. And there was war in heaven. And there was war in heaven. This is in Revelations 12:7-10, King James Version. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused him before our God day and night. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. What do we get out of that? That's the end product. When we go into meditation and shut Father down, we go and get Mom kicks a bitch out. Next thing you know, you're cooking with God. That's what happens. There's no room because there's no more of the lower mind. The lower mind has been lifted, so the devil's been vanquished, taken away. And all the things that came with him, all the effects of it, go away too. So y'all are waiting for this to happen when Jesus comes down, becomes your hero. Well, you'll be waiting many, many lifetimes for that. Once you get a grasp of it and go and do it yourself, that's what it's all about. Nobody can do it for you. You're the only person that's allowed in this place. All right. It's just beautiful, the things that we learn when we're here. So here again, we know that story about this is he's fought against the angels in heaven. This is the 144,000, that have been released to come down and help us out. It's just beautiful. Let's see. I don't know what all else is in here. Oh, art thou fallen from heaven? Here's Isaiah 14 and 12 through 15. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation on the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. This here is just the opposite of all that other business. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. You have to go back to your desires and wants and stuff like that. This is like if someone tried to kill you or you hurt yourself, you went through a near-death experience, you found yourself waking up cherished by God and feeling all this love and stuff like that, or it depends on how your mind is, what kind of person you are. You might be in hell, with all this crunching and scratching and all, trying to pull you back down. But it doesn't matter, if you're a good person, a bad person, it's going to be what you feel and what you see, because it's in your mind that all this stuff is happening. Your little individual world, all to yourself. Deal with it on yourself. Somebody comes in and says, hey, flash a little picture of your dog, your loved one, or your car, or something that's beautiful, and you just like, whoo, so it's testing you. So, whoa, oh, I can't do it I know who's going to feed my dog. Gone, bitch, gone, back home. This is that crab, right? This is up there on the grand scale of things, and this is a crab that cancer goes left and right. That's the top of the ladder. Are you going to go forward and meet your maker, and celebrate a great fine judgment day when you run across the lion in your world, or are you going back to the pit, tossed back down into the lake of fire? The lake of fire is a situation where you're not going to get any quenching or anything from drinking or anything like that. That's the land. This has to do with the land. There is a barrier between the two. That's that little water thing, So I know it sounds kind of bad, but I'm going to tell you this: is being sent up the river is what these stories says. Once you make it over to the other side, you're being, sounds terrible, sent up the river, but it's beautiful. All right. So, anyways, being a fallen one, look at all the people that are around you. So you just do your best and believe in God. Believe in Jesus. Do all this stuff. Do what it takes. That's the first things you got to do. Do all those things that the Bible tells you to do. Go get other people on there too, because if they don't know what the hell they're doing, they at least got to play the game. So, that's kind of interesting. I'm inviting you to go and tell people to do stuff that's going to kill them. But unbeknownst to them, they're already dead. All right. So it's not going to hurt them. Okay. But eventually, if maybe they've had other lives and other times that they were just looking for the helper, point them to me or to other people on this particular channel. All right. So anyways, I'll chat with you later. I love you. Hope you got something out of this.